Hi, this is Thomas from Polyphoria, and I like to showcase you today our newest product, the Zombie Bundle. I'm gonna give you a brief overview what is included within the product. There are texture variations for our meshes. We created a couple of base bodies for the Metahumans. And as usual, we used our modular component structure with lower bodies, upper bodies, and combined dresses, and some heads to dress up your zombies. Here's an anime example with the basic third-person default animation. I like to start with the texture variations of our SK items. As usual with our products, we come with multiple materials. Sometimes we have one material assigned, and sometimes we have 2 or even 3. It depends on the modularity of the SK item itself. We do our best to keep it as low as possible, but sometimes shareable items just need multiple materials on it. Okay, so we have here 1, here for example 2, and this guy had 3. I'm gonna give you a brief overview how the tints are working in general. I have here a physician and one of the construction workers. Let me just gonna open the screen tint variation. As you can see here, we have an RGB CMYK tint mask. In this case, the green channel is for the pants itself, or for the suit. The blue one is for the shirt, and the alpha is for the straps itself. This depends what you want to tint, and the green one is for the reflectors. So in case you just want to change this one as well. They have also some roughness and metallic variations in case you want to tweak this material channel as well. And you can change here any color you want. You can make it more brownish or orange or yellow. This depends on your general art direction, how much saturation you want to have, how much detail. So, and this gives you an arbitrary amount of possible changes. I prepared always a couple of these material instances. So I can just, for example, place these in here, right? Or we go in here. And this is, as I said, up to you. Here's the same example with a physician itself. We gave him here blue pants and a blue shirt, and this can be also changed to a greener variation. And even in case you just want to change the cloak itself, you can change it as well. This one needs to go in here. Voila, now it's getting red. Or if you just want to have it even darker. The alpha controls the intensity. If you go to 0, no tint. If you go to 1, a full tint. Keep in mind, the details getting lost, but this depends on your wish of contrast and your general art direction. And this applies to all our SK items. So all these can be tinted here, and you can create a couple of variations out of these. Okay, next chapter is the mesh variation. As you can see here, with the meshes, we have combined dresses, and we have also a separation between feet, some heads, the lower bodies, and the upper bodies itself. And you can also compile these together. This depends on how you want to set up your zombie crowd. If you want to use combined dresses with less exchangeability, but only one SK item attached to it, or if you want to separate it with different modular parts. These can be all compiled together into totally different variations. So for example, I just gonna use here now this shirt, just on this SK item here. Here's a shirt, I'm gonna use him. We go to the lower body and give him some pants. And this is then just the old material assignment here as well. Just gonna here to the reset property, and everything is working together. And you can mix and match all these items together. We created a few base bodies which work with the Metahuman creator app itself. So therefore you gotta have to go for the body, you go to conform, and you go to template. Let me just pull this one to the side. This is where we stopped from the texture variations. And here on the overview map, you're gonna find all our different body variations. The folder structure itself is pretty simple. Inside the Metahuman creator folder, there's a body folder, and I have separated these into multiple categories. We go first with the MMA tall normal weight. This description gives you just a hint on which body type the basic zombie was created. These are all exchangeable, so you can also use different textures across these, which I'm going to show in a second. But I just wanted to give you a hint where we started with these, so that you also have a proper description which material fits to which body type. Okay, let's go with the male version first. There's always a combined version and a separate version with a body, and sometimes I had two head variations. For example, let me just open this one here. So this is one of the static meshes where the mouse is in general a little bit open. And here's also another variation with a nose up. And you can also change these. For example, if you just want to close the mouse, feel free to use the mesh editing tools or convert it to a skeletal mesh. And you can also move the mouse then down. That's up to you. But in my world, the zombies had a little bit of an open mouse most of the time. Okay, so how are we going to get these static meshes now onto our Metahuman? It's pretty simple. You go for the body, conform from template. And you can make these with separate variations. For example, I'm just going to do it like this right now. And then target meshes in Metahuman pose. Yeah, sure, it is. You can go to conform. And then he is recalculating the vertices and matching the vertex order of the static meshes with the Metahuman vertex order. As you can see, the body has morphed already. We get our proportions. But the head didn't change. So if I'm going to plug in here, for example, the full body version in both slots, body and head mesh, and I'm going to do the same thing, the head is not fitted. With import mesh, it's also not fitting. It's mainly for the body itself. If you're going to go for the head category, go for conform from template. And here you can plug in the mesh as well. If I'm going to plug in here the full body, activate match vertices by UVs, conform, it's also working, as you can see here. And the tees are applied then. You can also add custom tees. I, for example, added here one custom tees model. But this depends all how you want to have the tees. I made them here a little bit more narrow and put the upper ones a little bit further out, that the appearance is a little bit more creepy itself. Okay, so this was one example. And if you just want to, for example, going to use the other head, you can also go here into the mesh slot, go for conform, and voila, you're going to get the one with the nose up. Okay. And this is interchangeable between the different body types as well. As mentioned before, I'm going to go here for the infected one, for example. I'm just going to open this one, as you can see the static mesh here. This is the infected version. I'm going to go back to the creator app. I'm going to hit conform. And here's the infected version now with a seamless transition. Or we're going to go for the obese head, fitting in here. Voila. But this is not the correct head. As you can see, the teeth are now sticking through a little bit because the morphology and the proportions are different compared to the ones from the initial assignment. So if I'm going to remove here now the teeth and hit conform, they're going to reset it to the default Metahuman position. And that's fine. And if you, for example, go in here and just do a translation, you're going to see you get the original scale from the obese character, which is way bigger compared to the basic to normal weight, which has also a different neck transition. This is why it's looking so tuck on the default body. And if you're going to go back to the body, for example, I'm going to plug in here now the full obese version. I'm gonna hit the conform button. He said failed to import template mesh. Input mesh is not consistent with Metahuman topology. So if you're gonna here in the body mesh, into the head mesh, go for conform. Voila, here we go. Next one are skin textures for Metahuman Creator. Okay, the skin textures are stored inside Polyphoria, Zombie Bundle, Textures, and Skin Textures Metahumans. There are different folders, also named corresponding to the specific bodies, so FE tall normal weight, the infected, the male one, and the obese version. In general, you can change these as well, as shown previously with all the static meshes exchangeability for the Metahuman Creator. But keep in mind that these are baked onto these specific topology, morphology positions in this moment. So when you use the infected texture on the not infected static mesh, it could look a little bit strange on some edges because the normal map were not in the similar position like the vertices for this guy, for example. Okay, but let's try the infected one right now as we speak about it. Okay, infected head. We go for the face map. It's plugged in here. And we're also going to give it the normal map. And this is still on base color animated. Let's go for normal. Voila, here's the normal map. Now, as I have mentioned earlier, the bake process with this head type was that the polygons were in a different position. So you can still use these. They are not looking totally wrong, but they were used in a different UV space, right? So if we're gonna, for example, would change this head to the infected right now, which we're gonna do later, you will see that the stretching would not appear. It's now for this obese guy because the neck is way wider. Okay, but we're gonna put the base color for the body in as well. Here you can see a similar type of stretching. And we go for the body normal for the second channel. Infected body normal. Voila. And here's the normal map as well. And that's the infected texture set. I also baked a SRMF map out, which is the default one from the Metahuman shader, but I'm gonna touch the material topic with the next chapter. Let's go first over some texture variations here. Yeah, and there's also, if I, for example, go with the obese version, which is really baked on the sky with this specific UVs, this would match a little bit better. So we're gonna plug in here this head and gonna use this normal. And as you can see, there's no stretching. That's all fine here. But you get this seam right now, sure, because the body base color has a different color as the other set. So we had also to replace this one here. And then everything is fine. And you can still, oops, let me make it full screen. It's a little bit easier for the full body. Okay. And we can change here the body proportions as well. If we go for the model, perform parametric fit, just needs a second. So now we can, as you can see, it's coming out of our proportions and you still keep the general shape, and you can, yeah, as mentioned also in the other Metahuman video, you can change it here to a specific amount of parameters. Sure, if I would want to make the arms really longer, this would have to be prepared from our end, from the base body itself, because the Metahuman creator is saying here, hey, that's the end position. It cannot get longer, but I think it's still fine enough. Yeah, same applies here. So there's a lot of variation still possible. Okay, and let's go to the head, for example, and let's take a look what I was mentioning earlier with the infected version. So I'm going to pull him over. Let's go for the infected again, infected head, go in here, conform. And as you can see, he is squeezing now the neck from the obese body onto the infected body. Yeah, if you go for none, yeah, it's still not ideal. So I would therefore recommend to really go then here as well into the body itself. Go from template and also use the corresponding base body. But in general, it's possible. As you can see here right now, the vein is here stretching above the infested head type, which is not fitting so well. Okay, and also with all the bubbles here itself. Okay, next one will be the texture assignment of the infected. Not in here, we go for materials, skin, go down. Let's pull on the infected. And as you can see here, it's fitting pretty well with the corresponding UVs. Yeah. And that's also working with another body type, right? So if we're going to go in here now, we're going to use the female version. For example, let's go into body. Gonna plug in here the body. Gonna plug in here the head. Voila. Or we can activate the match by vertices option as well. Match vertices by UVs. Then he is not looking at the vertex order of the mesh itself. He's looking if the UVs are matching correctly. And as you can see here, we have now put the female one in. Let's go for materials, and we're going to use the corresponding texture variations. Female tall normal weight. There's the body. There's the normal map. There's the head. And the corresponding normal map. But we have still the infected head. Let's go back to the head. And we're going to go for the female head. Voila. Scaling, rotation, translation. Okay, here we are. And if we want to replace the underwear itself, we can also go for materials, for the body. Let's go for, I do believe it was chest base color. No, then let's go for body underwear base color. Voila, here it is. You still have a little bit of an artifact of the normal map. So you can also go in here, go for underwear normal. You're going to grab our normal, put it in here, and you can make it completely remove. Okay, that's the general overview exemplary on a couple of base bodies. As you can see here, we have integrated 4 at least. And these 4 work fine to create a lot of zombie variations out of it. You can also put clothing on top of your zombies. We have prepared some Metahuman outfits. If you're going to go for the Metahuman creator and you go for the wardrobe, I prepared 2 different variations, parametric outfits and skeletal versions. The skeletal ones are really bound onto the mentioned proportions, so you cannot throw these in and make these available across multiple body types. But the parametric outfits are more flexible and they will also work with different morphologies. So for example, I have here a male worker costume, which I'm gonna put in the outfit clothing category. And I have also a female version. Let's compare these 2. That's the female one, a little bit tighter, made available for this base body. And let's put the male version on top. The male version is then as well because of the outfit asset getting closer to the female proportions, but I was also trying to give you guys a little bit more variations, and that these are also accessible between all these different body types. Yeah, and this would apply, for example, if we would go for the obese one right now. Let me just gonna change it one more time. We go for obese. This obese full body. Voila. Okay, the dresses are not yet converted. Let's go for the hair clothing. Sometimes the application needs a little bit of a hint that these things were changed. So let's go as well for the head category, and let's use the obese head. Okay, let's go in here. If he's able to update it, voila. Okay, he's putting it back down because he hasn't still updated the parametric attributes of the body itself. This is why also the other dresses were not correctly moved into the position. Let's take a look if it's working now. Ah, voila, now it's working. Yeah, sometimes the application has a little bit of a bug or hic, and then you need to update some parameters that the update is forced. Okay, here I was shown previously multiple dresses, multiple texture variations. This wraps it up. We could continue endless, but I do believe the length of the video is already overstretched and the main bullet points are covered. Yeah, and therefore I'm gonna thank you all for your support and I'm gonna wish you a great day. Ciao.